Know the cost. I mean, ballpark, because you'll never know what it's going to cost you to build something like this. Could be, I don't know, 10,000, 20,000, depending on the parts. Someone yesterday asked me how much did it cost me to build my 1974 Bronco, and I just had a feeling of, I don't know, I don't know what the right word is, despair, or maybe I took offense to that question, even though it's a question that's often asked by someone that has no idea how much it costs to build toys or projects or old cars, right? I want to answer that question and also introduce this Bronco project to this channel in hopes that, well, not in hopes, but I am surely going to make more episodes from now until completion so that I can share it in my channel and people can enjoy it. So let's talk about how much it costs to build a Bronco. I am not going to give you a breakdown of every single little thing that I spend on my Bronco projects because I don't keep track of it that way, just to be honest. People like myself that like to work on old cars, I think we have something in common. One is that we do it because we are passionate about bringing history back or being part of history and bring it back on the road. Uh, with the amount of money that I spent on building the red Bronco all throughout the years, I can honestly say that yes, you can probably go out and buy a new Bronco with it. You know what I mean? But that's not what I'm after. I'm after, practicing my skills. I'm after my passion, not just so much about, you know, keeping track of every single little thing that I do when I build projects like this, right? It's the experience behind it. It's getting a rust bucket such as this one behind me, putting it all together at the cheapest way possible. Well, there's no cheap way to do it, but at the most, I don't know, skillful way possible of reusing old parts and rebuilding old parts and making it run again and back on the road. Those are the reasons why I build projects like this. With that being said, let me talk a little bit about the red Bronco before I talk about how much I'm going to spend on this new Bronco. The red Bronco is a 1975 Bronco. It's highly customized. Of course, all Broncos from 66 to 77 have similarities and differences because later on those years they put different axles, maybe added uh, more safety features like front disc brakes, power brakes, power steering, things like that. Older Broncos, you may not get those. You may get four-wheel disc brakes and no power steering, and you'll have to decide to put those in or mod your projects to be a little bit safer in today's standards. Yeah. The red Bronco that I have is highly customized because of I started with literally a shell and a rolling chassis. With that being said, the initial cost of the Bronco or the red Bronco when I purchased it as a rolling chassis, I would say 15 years ago, it cost me $5,500. Um, I bought it because for the most part the body is in great condition. There were rust spots here and there and I've had to change panels here and there, but I didn't mind that kind of work and I did it all here at my home. And I knew that that Bronco will last me a long time if I do it right. The main reason why I never really kept track of how much it cost me to build it ultimately is because most of the parts that I used on it I already had from other projects. For example, the front and rear axles are from a full-size 1976 F-150 and it so happened to have disc brakes already at that time. The engine and transmission, the engine itself, I had bought from a crashed Fox Body 5.0 in 1993. and it was such in great condition that I didn't have to rebuild it. I changed all the gaskets on it and then I put it on. I purchased an F250 axles from someone that was getting rid of the whole truck for like 200 bucks. I took that, cleaned it, changed the fluid, and then I had a 5-speed transmission. I did have to purchase a adapter plate to adapt the later model 5-speed transmission to the Dana 20, which cost me around $300-400 or something like that. And I can't, like I said, it was so long ago I can't remember. There are many things that I had to fabricate, motor mounts, transmission mounts. It's either I modified the old or fabricated a whole new piece, the bumpers, the seats, fit the seats in there. So overall, I think at the end of the project, if I would have kept track of it, maybe I would have spent over 20,000 altogether, right? But and that is doing everything myself. Those are mainly parts cost, and things that I have to use like equipment and things like that. So considering that's a whole lot of money, not everybody is going to get into a project thinking they would spend that much amount of money. But like I said, for something that I keep, something that I'm very passionate about, I don't mind spending that kind of money on it. So moving forward to the current project that I have, this is a 1975 Bronco that someone has already worked on before. So anyways, I'm talking about this red Bronco behind me. I purchased a 1975 Bronco. It just so happened to be a 1975 Bronco from a junkyard right after I purchased this one from another island. So I figured I would put those two together because the Bronco from the junkyard had a great body with, I wouldn't say minimal rust, but something that I can handle, right? And then as this Bronco right here, the red Bronco, is going to be the donor part for this Bronco will be the engine, transmission, and transfer case, although the Bronco from the junkyard came with an engine, transmission, and a transfer case. The engine is a 302, and I believe it's the original engine to the Bronco. The problem I have with that is that I do not have a title for the junkyard Bronco. I have a bill of sale, and here in Hawaii they will not allow you to title a junkyard car with a bill of sale, so I'm at a loss for that. This red Bronco right here has a title that the previous owner, put into storage, so I don't have to spend a lot of money to bring it back out of storage. It's already on my name, and I have the VIN number for both of these vehicles, which I can modify and make work for the project, and I'm able to get it registered and on the road. So far I've spent $2,000 on the Bronco that I purchased from the junkyard, plus $400 of towing fees, so that's 2,400 bucks. The red Bronco behind me here came from another island, and I bought it as a pair. There's another Bronco back there. I bought two Broncos because at the time I'm thinking I would put the two together, which is ultimately my goal. I bought it for 10,500. So let's just say that I paid half for that, 5,000 for this car. A given running car, but very rusty, right? So far I am probably around 7,500 on this new project I have, and just looking at it right now, I will be spending a little bit over maybe $15,000 to get this Bronco on the road. And the reason why I'm assessing it that high, even probably higher a little down the road, is I'll come across things that I need to buy. Gas for my welder, the gaskets and seals for the engine tranny transfer case, and then of course the axles, new brakes, brake pads. I've already purchased the seats for it because it didn't come with seats. If I need to do wiring, if I need to do the paint, the body work, and just consumables that I need to spend, it will all eventually add up, right? So I'm assuming I'll be spending between 15 to 20,000 with the costs that are already incurred in purchasing the two Broncos. Now, is that for everybody? Some people will say, well, why are you spending that much on a rust bucket? It's not for everybody, but it's for someone like me that has passion in seeing a vehicle like this back on the road, especially a classic vehicle like this back on the road. So now that I've talked about the price, that may change, in the upcoming months that I'm working on this project. And of course, I will probably talk about it again once the project is complete. But for now, I want to introduce to you this red Bronco as a project, along with supposed to be a light green color Bronco right there. I'm putting it as a 2-into-1 Bronco. And I'll make episodes and videos of this just to keep track of it, and I hope you enjoy it. And this is the introduction and the cost of this project. That's all I have for you this week. I'm going to travel. I'll be back in a week and make another video. And I hope you enjoyed this video this week. I will talk to you again later. Aloha.